All right, still daylight out. Obviously, the fire's not lit yet, or I wouldn't be in here. But a happy pre-New Year, New Year's Eve today. You'll probably be seeing this sometime tomorrow. It's going to have to be in several parts because my battery only lasts for so long. But been out here preparing for a couple of hours. I mean, I've already spent several hours just doing that anyhow. But kind of finalizing everything, getting everything a little bit more organized. I have 13 requests tonight, and I've designated them friends 1 through 13, although the 13th is a little bit more involved, and I will be doing that out at the fire. So what we have on display tonight here is I have several teas that I've made that I will invite spirits, ancestors, spirits that I've worked with, or spirits that I've worked with if they want to invite spirits over to partake, kind of like as a favor or something like that, then they are more than welcome to do that. Here I have a number of ingots that I've already pre-folded. There are 200 in there. So those are going to be for people at large. I have ancestor money folded as ingots. There are 200 in there. And the reason that they're sitting in here is because most of these requests involve, a fair number of them involve ingots and ancestor money. And so I will be adding these to the piles in here, and I will be burning them all together. Most of them have been folded into ingots, but some have not. I just kind of played it by ear, and isn't really much more for me to say about that. I will be doing 4 candles tonight instead of my usual 1. I'll describe some of that later. But I'm using some oils that I got. A friend of mine gifted them to me that they had, I guess, purchased from that shop. And I will be using those on the candles, 1 for each candle, 1 for abundance, another to break bindings and things like that, and try to help attract abundance, protection, and opportunity to those I consider friends. And I guess there really isn't much to say about that. I don't have statues, obviously, or idols of everyone that I'm calling on tonight, but these are the same statues I typically use. In no particular order, because some are getting called on more than others. So we have Hecate, Santa Muerta, Huxian, Guanyin, and Xiao Guoming. And I think out of all these, Xiao Guoming is probably going to be the most called upon tonight. But we will see. I have to do part of these rituals first. I'll do all the bloodings and chargings afterwards, because I kind of need to clear some room out. So not only I can light some of these candles, but I can also prepare the larger candles that I have 3 for my friends, and 1 for myself, actually, which friend number 13 suggested I do, since I have a tendency to do things for others and less so for myself. They've given me good advice like that in the past. So here we go. These are in no particular order that I'm going to be doing them in. I've kind of laid them out as best I could so I can make them accessible to me. And if you see all these piles, it wasn't exactly the easiest thing in the world to do. So, okay, let's go ahead. And now I'm using the term friend here, and there's a number. I will be messaging those people or emailing them, however I contact them, to let them know which one is theirs if they want to see it. But the work will be done regardless. So friend number 1 wanted to overcome the fear of success and intimacy. And so when I thought about who may want to do this, actually Archangel Michael came to me and said that he would like to do this for this person. And so therefore, these are for Archangel Michael. And I will be charging and bleeding on those. Not the white one, just the other two. I don't know why. I know some people don't like it when people give blood to angels. They think they're offended and things like that, but that's their own paradigm speaking and not mine. So I've never had an issue with it, even with Raphael. Okay, friend number 2. All right, your request was to be more deeply grounded and have a good basis for financial and spiritual matters. We'll be doing that. That'll be Belial, which will have the blue candle, and Hades, which will have the red and the orange. I didn't have a brown or a gold, so I kind of settled on those two. So let me go ahead and charge these so I can set them upright and kind of start clearing some space here. The ancestor money will be put into the ancestor money box. And I'll be bleeding them in together, and that's mostly for expediency. You see I taped that friend 2. All right, we got Belial's with the blues and Hades, the others. Okay. Friend 3. Friend 3 was interested in increased health and continued success. And this is through Zhao Gongming. So this is essentially the fortune changing ritual, but the whites for Guanyin and Helios, who will be helping with the healing aspect. So I'll be putting these in the pile. These are for, again, Zhao Gongming. And Helios and Guanyin. Guanyin statue right here. Okay. Friend 4, to be better at picking up energy signatures of others. And Hu Xian actually wanted this task, and these are the number of ingots she requested for it. I don't know why. The ancestor money she requested for it, and a red beeswax candle that is also in her candle holder. So add those to the pile. Okay. Also recharge these though. Sorry, there's one end that it's a little bit easier to use these red beeswax candles. I really like these candles. I use them a lot for entities. Okay. Now, friend number 5 actually asked for the quiet early retirement of a coworker. who's been causing problems, and for healing for a near family member, close enough to family to count. So for this, Hecate wanted help with the retirement, and Helios will help with the healing. Okay, friend 6 wanted health and abundance. And I had 2 entities step forward, actually, for the health, one with also for abundance, and then Xiaogoming for abundance specifically. So that's with the many colored candles there. And then Helios to help with the healing, which Santa Marta will also be helping with. So we've got Santa Marta with the light purple candle, Hecate with the dark purple candle, and payments for Xiaogoming's help. Okay. Friend number 7. This was a very genuine request. It actually touched me quite a bit. This person is always really good to me, really nice to me, consistently remembers things, and I've helped him a fair amount, but I still appreciate it. But this person requested that a dog is being mistreated in their neighborhood find an appropriate home, and because it's being abused quite a bit, and for that we have a couple of entities here. One is Helios, but instead of the healing aspect of Helios, we're going to let him shine light to try to help those the dog and the future owner find themselves. And then Hecate is also known for her hellhounds. So she stepped forward to also help with this. And I was very grateful for that. This is a very kind-hearted person, and I wanted to recognize that from them. Okay, friend 8. I want to recognize friend 8 also, because I reached out to this friend, and they pretty much said that they just wish there was everybody a more peaceful 2024 with a little bit more joy in it. So I was very kind for them, and I wanted to recognize them for that. But I'm not going to burn much more for them for this, because I'm basically just going to stack some ancestor money and toss into the bin here to for their ancestors to enjoy. So we'll just go ahead and take a small amount of this. All right. Friend 9 asked for good fortune to be sent their way. So that seems pretty straightforward with Xiaogoming. And so therefore, oops. Make sure I don't step on that one. I accidentally dropped. Okay. friend number 10 would like a new job that they don't hate and provides more money. Didn't really get anything else than that, but we can work with that. So therefore, going back to our go-to here, it's Xiao Gongming. All right, friend number 11. Now, this was a personal question from friend number 11, and I don't want to state what their question is, but I will state that there are a couple of things that, a couple entities that I'm going to be using here, 3 most specifically. One is Hecate. And she just simply requested a piece of incense for this, and I will absolutely do that for her. The other 2 are Hu Xian, whose interests are in love, attraction, lust, things like that. Could be pretty useful in this area. And Xiao Gongming. And Xiao Gongming is known to grease palms, change fortunes, things like that. So the 3 of those step forward for this request, and I will be speaking with them off video to get a message back because I feel like it's deserved and so personal that I'm not going to air the laundry here, right? That'd be inappropriate. So here are those ingots, friend 11. Okay, I got friend number 12. Now, friend number 12 is a bit open-ended, and I'm literally waiting to hear back from somebody, spirit-wise, who would want to take this. It has to deal with a project they're already working on and completing that project in a more organized and maybe in a more efficient way. And so I don't have an entity for that yet, but I will certainly make offerings on their behalf to try to find one for them. I'm sure one will step forward. I'm just not sure who it is, and I could just be too busy in my head right now to find out. Now, friend number 13 has a box over here that has different stuff in it for their request. It's a bit more complicated, so they're already going to know that their stuff is being handled because I've told them it is. So since we've already done this, I'll go back through and charge everything up one last time, and then it's time to bleed, which I'm good with. I did think about grabbing the scalpel for it for tonight, since it's like New Year's and whatnot, but I don't use it all the time. Usually I use it when I feel I should, or it's pretty really serious. So I'm going to go back through, charge each of these candles. It'll bleed on all of them, and then we'll go from there. We'll probably cut after I light all these candles, so I can move this space around so I can do the 4 large candles, and then after that's been started, we'll cut, and then I'll start the fire, and then the last part of this, I guess you say last third of the video, will be burning the things in the fire. So, all right, suppose I should just get on there, shouldn't I? Okay. All right. This thing has a tendency to pick on my breath quite a bit, so I'll probably drown out the audio and me breathing to send the energy in. Which you might be wondering, why did I want to go through and do it again? Because usually I'm doing like a quick fill when I'm doing these things. So I basically flood the candle. It doesn't mean something's not going to get lost or leak out or something like that. So I just like to go through sometimes and make sure that everything's been topped off. None of these are condensed candles that I've used recently. It wasn't needed. If it was, then obviously I would be more than happy to do that. So now it's time to bleed. And because of policies, I'll just go ahead and keep that part off camera. Now hers, I typically do it on the back end, the back side. I don't know why. And I typically do not bleed on theirs outside of when I first get it. They have other processes for doing there are rituals for that I'm waiting on herbs to get. They're hard to get out of, I guess, some of these places. So here we go. Okay, welcome back to part 2. I think I have enough batter for this. As you can see, our candles are burning quite well. The tea lights will remain there for a while. The long, thin beeswax candle is back over on Huxian's altar. Right here I have the 4 candlesticks, well, 3 in a bottle, that I will be using for the second part of this. And, it already blanked out on here. I'm going to show you 3 bottles of this. These 3 dropper bottles here are from, I probably can't see that. All right, Hesperida.myshopify.com. This oil is hers, and I will be using it on 3 of my candles. I'll put a link in the description. But the other candle, my personal candle, I'll be using this Belladonna Botanicals Hecate oil, and I'll also be using these other 3 oils as well. Just I'm not using the Hecate oil in the other 3, but the reasons I was just going to do 1 candle, but the more I thought about it, I kind of wanted to do semi-focused candles rather than just one big lump, right? So here we have the cornucopia oil, and really the purpose for that is the prosperity. It says health, prosperity, and fortune. And those were recurrent themes with the requests that I had. And I think we could all use more of any of that, really. Here we have the Atropos oil. And the thing the intent I'm going to put into this is that it will, now it says here to banish, cord cut, and uncross, but what I'm going to also add to it is that, so the candle with this on it is also going to be for limitations and things getting in your way, which are kind of like bindings or cords that need cut. So now that will be kind of at your discretion. You can accept any or none of these candles. You can accept whatever ones you want, but that's going to be the intent for as you could say, candle number 3. And candle number 4 here is the Shining Veil oil, and it was for blessings, consecrations, and being hallowed. And so what I'm going to put that with is the intent I'm going to add in that with the energies to it is for helping in guidance and spiritual progress in general. Not towards any one specific thing, but when you're talking about blessing and making something hallowed is a bit of a point of view on which side you're on, and sometimes we're on different sides from things, but so I'll just kind of focus it at the spiritual level and call that good. Now the candlestick holders that I got here, I got all 3 of these antique shop in Tennessee. When I went to Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Tennessee, this past summer, where I was going to meet Saga Mysterium, but things didn't work out. So I got these three there. I haven't used these two. I've used this once, this nice lily. And this one is one I've used actually in Hawaii. I still have the bottle. I kept it. I can't believe some of the wax is still on there. It's kind of pretty incredible. But it's the 19 Crimes bottle, and they are not supporting this video in any way. I certainly support their wine. But I needed the bottle, so that's what I used. And so that's what I'm going to use for my own personal ones, because it's still here. It's still got the wax. And I haven't used it in years because I've had it put away. Really, I had it on a shelf so it wouldn't get messed with. And the wax is still there because of it. So I will be using the Hakata oil, and the other three oils on that. I did want to go over how, since these are all manufactured candles, because that's not something I'm really genuinely interested in. I have a side interest just in like the knowing, but I have seen people dip candles in the past. But that's a lot of work, and I'm not sure that I'm honestly going to want to really do it. At some point I might. I'd like to have the skill anyways. All right, getting off track. So what I do when I get a candle like this that I don't necessarily know what's been done, how it's been done, what I'll do is I'll kind of, you could use your hand as like a guide, but what we're going to do is we're basically going to, because these have been in my ritual space for a while, so they have picked up, additional energies and things like that. And so aside from the manufacturing process and maybe the distributor, I place less on the, the distributor, because that's mostly just business. I don't really place much in the manufacturing, but just in case. What I'll do is I'll start at the top like this, at least what I did here. And then I'll take it and I'll act like this. There's a filter between my fingers here. And as I slide down this candle, it's going to filter out the unuseful, and I usually use something like that, unuseful or unneeded, and let the better part of me decide what that is. So I'll basically pull it down on it, acting like a filter. And then when I hit the bottom, take it and grab it and literally just throw it to the ground. I know it sounds stupid and simple, but sometimes stupid and simple works pretty fucking well, if I might say. But that is also, you could do it energetically, and you could overwrite the candle like that. But I did this earlier on these candles, and I'll do it again. But I thought, hey, I should probably talk about that process, because there's still going to be latent and residual energies in here. So that's why I said unneeded or unwanted. And that's going to be with regards to the working that I'm going to have for this candle. And these are all going to be blessing candles. So anything that isn't needed, I want to filter out, don't I? But if it's something else that's useful, then it seems like I should probably leave that in. And sometimes you just have to let that other part of yourself that is also involved in magic, in my opinion, do as part of the work too. Usually I would say this in the subconscious in my, in the system I'm working in now, the system I'm kind of developing in, how I became me, but that's a different thing. So I'll go through again here. Actually, I think I will go into that a little bit. We all say that smoke cleansing and water cleansing are good ways, but we don't really say why. And what you're doing is you're basically using a different type of energy to push out the energies that you don't really want in there. And you can say, well, how does that work? And that's a very good question, right? I think the tools are just not necessarily props, because if they're useful, then they aren't props, right? But I think there's a lot that's going on with magic that doesn't involve a lot more behind the scenes than maybe we give credit to. But this is not what this is about. This is about New Year's Eve and what we're going to do here. So what do I do now? I've cleansed the candles. I have the oils here. So what I'm going to first do is I'm going to charge the candle with a generic energy, just a pure generic energy. And then the reason for that is because I'm going to then add the intent to override some of that with this. And that's how we add like nuance and things like that into it. Okay. I realize I should probably do something on that, but this isn't the time. So, you know, a big candle like this doesn't necessarily take longer than a smaller candle, right? So we'll just see, because I have not pre-charged these. Part of that's because I want to give you an idea of how long it's going to take, but this is going to be just like that quick charge. And then I'll go through again and stuff more of it in there, but the stuff I'm going to stuff in there and convert some of this other stuff is with the purpose of this specific candle. But first, the one thing that we do have in common with all of these candles, well, with 3 of these candles, is that these are to benefit my friends, those people I care about. And I guess it really doesn't need much more explanation than that, right? I was trying to think of something clever to say or profound, but that really isn't it. This is to help people that I'm friends with, that I care about. And that's really all that's needed. So let me go ahead and charge these 3 with a quick charge. I'll do mine a little bit differently, but that's because it's specific to me. All right. The voids are small, so that'll work. Okay. That one's mine, so I'll do that different. So now we have our 3 candles. So what am I going to do now? Well, now I'm going to start thinking of the purpose of this candle, which in this case is going to be the blessing, the hellness, the spiritual journey. So let me fill in the rest of this, and I'm going to probably put at least half, add or convert half the energy in here towards that. I'll let this oil kind of tinge the rest, but I will be bleeding on this candle. And when I bleed on this candle, it's going to be very specific to all of them. It does not bind you to me, nor me to you. It's for, basically, it's for entities to help those people that I consider friends in this area. And it's kind of like some sugar on top that they get to have for helping. And it doesn't require a commitment from me or you or them. You know, if they help, they get whatever portion of that they do. And that's for all them to decide. It's okay. We're talking about blessing. We're talking about spirituality and spiritual growth. So what I'll do here is I will hold those 3 areas in my head and what those things mean. I'll do it generically with pictures and with feelings, but I'm not putting those pictures and feelings into the candle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to then add the rest of the energy in there, and then I'll be feeling the rest of the candle to then color it with that, because I still want part of the candle with a plain useful charge for anybody, anything essentially, just about, and good enough. So they can take whatever they want. If they want that type of energy to use it towards something, they can. If they just want the generic energy so they could use it for something else, then they can. And that's really all that matters. All right. I think that one's good. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've done the blessing, the spiritual growth, that sort of thing. Now we're going to the unbinding, the uncrossing, and the removal of obstacles. I mean, it's tempting for me to switch straight over to destructive energy, but that's not really what this needs to be, right? It doesn't need to be destructive. You don't have to break barriers. You just have to make them not your barriers anymore, right? And sometimes you can do that softly. So, all right. All right, we got the cornucopia. This one is for fortune, health, I believe. Yeah, health, fortune, and prosperity. Sorry, I just couldn't think of that middle one there. Pretty easy here, but this is going to be generic. I know we used Xiaogao for most of that this time. This is not going to be strictly Xiaogao. Now, I could have used a Bune tonight, but Bune, who's... Actually, this water dragging down here. Right. Bune just set this one out this time. It's fine. No worries. So I'm not gonna restrict this to just Xiaogao Ming. It's not gonna be restricted to just Bune. I mean, you could do all sorts of people here, like Hades. You could throw Belial on there because things come from the earth. I mean, there are a huge number of people you could use, and so this is just gonna be generic, and that'll allow any of them that wants to take part of this energy to do so. And so here's what we're gonna do: health, prosperity, and fortune. Now this one I'll probably only leave about a third because there isn't a whole lot that wouldn't fall under those other categories here. So there we go. Now it's a little more. All right, there we go. All right. Now with mine. With mine, this is just going to be pure straight energy. I will probably compact it just like once or twice, and then just kind of go from there. And the reason for that is because I've got a lot of things coming up this year that I really could use external help for, like especially this move to Hawaii. It's not 100%, but it's probably good 90 or 90 plus. I've been through this process before. I've been through all these people well, not necessarily these people, but these offices, they have to sign off on things before the first time I went. So I'm not too terribly concerned about it, but there's going to be a lot of things that I want to go smoothly. So instead, this is just going to be straight energy, compacted a couple times, at least once, probably twice actually. And then I'll add these other things to help flavor some of that in there after I bleed on it, right? Because I remember with part one we talked about how the blood will flake off. So what'll happen is I'll, especially with these, I'll basically pick a finger, lance it, and then bleed all over it, and then I'll immediately put the oil over this thing, and then I'll repeat that process with the others, and that's to make sure it doesn't flake off, because magician's blood can be quite tasty and is a valuable commodity, especially if they've been doing magic for quite a while. But especially, I've done quite a bit of it tonight, so it's a bit juicier, and I'm going to take advantage of that. And here we go. All right. Now these are certainly bigger than the 4-inch candles. These are 10 inches, and they're going to be burned over several days. I'm not going to... I suppose I could use the live feed if I wanted to put the laptop up, and it'd be a big freaking snore fest. Now, my idea of a good time. So go ahead. Here we go. Like I said, this blood does not bind me to the recipient, nor the recipient to me, but is there for those spirits that I would normally give blood to. Because if I don't know you, I'm not doing it. And that's usually what's going through my head as I'm putting blood on here. But I should probably state it. So there we go. Now, the reason I got this little pottery plate out Not exactly going to need to put the candle holder in it, but what it does do is it allows me a place to set this candle so that I can start using this, and I have a catch basin already here. So I know that's not news to most. You probably already have your stuff in place, but just in case. There we go. Sweet. Nice. Oof. All right. Now let me grab a. I don't have a rag over here. Where'd it go? Yeah, covered up. Oof. Sorry, I don't want to move the camera. I've got some other stuff I'm going to be doing over here tonight, and I don't want to ruin it quite yet. Here we go. Yeah, I like to buy these shop rags from, just a bag of rags is what they call them, from like Home Depot or things like that, because I don't care about them. I throw them away when I'm done. But if I sop up oil and stuff with them, I don't care about that either. So, all right, one down. Better not show that lancing because people might get all, the feelers might get hurt. Here we go. Nice. All right. And again, this blood does not bind me to the recipients, nor the recipients to me. May only be used by those whom I would give blood to. I should say, or those in their stead, but they get the idea. It's all right. Sorry if you can hear my neighbors. They like to talk kind of loud. That's all right. They're good people. It's just loud as shit. All right. Blooded. Now we've got the Atropos oil. Good. Now I know a lot of people are they like to think that how the candles burn gives meaning to things, and I'm just not one of those people. Especially like in a case like this. I mean, this is, here, let me lance this, but I'm just not one of those people. One is because I don't really need to know how it worked, because I expect it to work. I don't need reinforcement like that. Doesn't mean I wouldn't want it sometimes, but let me state the disclaimer here. This blood does not bind me to the recipients, nor the recipients to me. It is only usable by those I would give blood to. All right, so I guess technically this is 2.5. When you show you my offerings I have out for tonight, 12 pieces of chocolate orange, some peanut brittle that was given to me made for me for Christmas, mugwort, wormwood. I've got breakfast tea. I've got I think it's Earl Grey tea. Then we've got chamomile and mint tea, coffee, and 2 bowls of Mickey's. Mickey's is good stuff. It says fine malt liquor on there, but it's only like 6% or something like that. So one in here. This is for the ancestors, my wife's ancestors. This is for the dead, because I do still give offerings to them too. And the one I poured into the ground for the land and those that keep it is already absorbed into the ground, so there's no point in showing that. I'm getting ready to light the fire, and we will pick back up from there. All right, no doubt you can hear the snap, crackle, popping of the Christmas tree going up in flames there. Should about be good here. I did forget my mask though, so give me a minute. All right, there we go. I'll be tossing a couple more things on here, and then I will actually get started with the burning. Okay, I had the angle like this to try to keep out traffic and things like that from the video, but while I was waiting to be able to start the fire, I went ahead and did some more ingots, because I need to do ingots for my ancestors also, so I put 100 ingots in there for them. And then I put 200 pieces of spirit money in for random spirits that don't have anybody to give to them. That's a regular part of my practice. So I did quite a bit of that today. So those are now in there too. And these spirits that will facilitate that transfer basically waived their fee, if you will, since it was a good deed. So since people are going to start kind of leaving to go to dinners and stuff, let me go ahead and get done with this. First, the ingots. Now the spirit money. This spirit money is for my family, my ancestors. That include my wife's ancestors. It looks a little different. It is different. Still. candles are burning. I see a couple ingots that are stuck on the side here. So I've got a pack of 50. Would also be adding. In case I miscounted, misunderstood. Alright, now I'll be tossing these in over the rest of the night. So essentially means this ritual is over. Outside of the candles being burnt, and they're going to burn over a while. I think it takes about 10 hours for those longer candles to burn. So, there you go. Yours to accept if you choose to. Yours to reject if you don't. Happy New Year. So all the ingots have been burnt. All the ancestor money has been given. The offerings were laid out. The GoPro is telling me it has to ingest 26 more items. I don't see how, but there was one part of tonight's ritual that I forgot. I prepared for it, but I forgot. And that is the offering of toys to the dead, basically. So I have 3 things over here. A geisha. I have a wooden whale and a pig, a wooden carved pig. I'm not going to be able to do anything with these. I don't see any point in just throwing them away. And earlier this past summer, I made an offering to a spirit who requested it to give to another child that they had encountered there. And so I decided that I was going to donate these, such as they are, and the cycle pumps are here and willing to accept them. So first I will donate this whale. Please carry this to the other side. And now I will donate this pig. I will also be donating this. This geisha. It's beautiful. It does have a couple of flaws, but that won't matter to them. So I donate this and ask that it be given to an appropriate spirit on the other side. Alright, that's all I have prepared to give to them tonight. The point of which is being that within the paradigms that I'm currently working in, the other side is almost like a mirror to this one. That's why they need the money. Ingots are for entities and official debts sort of thing, and the paper money is to help pay for the things they need while they're there. So if you were to look, you would find all sorts of stuff that we would not think of offering to people on the other side, but I guess it makes sense when you consider that the Egyptians did similar things. The Western side of things we typically don't, but that's us. So we set out for the money, the ingots, and the toys.